Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Tuba People TV, where we talk about Arnold Jacobs all of the time. Puddles and I are here in beautiful Odessa, Florida.
Welcome.
Thank you, with the one and only Marie Speziale. Thank you so much for inviting us in. It's been we had been trying to get together for the last 6 or 7 years, and of course COVID got in the way, other personal commitments got in the way. It really did. So thanks for hanging in there with me.
Well, thank you for your patience. I mean,
It's such a pleasure to meet you finally. Certainly have heard so much about you from friends of mine who studied with you, and it's just great to be here. So
well, I'm delighted that we're finally able to do this because, as I said, it felt for a while like you probably thought I was trying to dismiss you.
No.
But there were just so many extenuating circumstances that, life has a way of throwing curveballs sometimes.
It does. No, for sure. Life happens, as
Yes.
they say. So before the camera began rolling, we were talking. Marie had studied with Mr. Jacobs from a period of time between 1986 and 1988, and she had taken notes in preparation for this interview, listening to all those tapes. And I have to back up a little bit. I introduced who you are, but not who you are in terms of your career. Marie Speziale, part of the trumpet section of the Cincinnati Symphony from 1964 to 1996. You were on the faculties of Cincinnati Conservatory, the Miami of Ohio University, back to CCM,
Right.
IU,
Right.
the Shepherd School at Rice University, and the second president of the IWBC. So now we can talk more about, I feel like we're in order now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I've had a very blessed career. Seriously.
Yeah, no, it's been...
There was no way growing up here in inner city Tampa that I would have thought that I'd have the kind of career that I've had. So I'm just grateful to have had all the blessings that I've had,
Well,
and a lot of people along the way that helped me be successful.
Absolutely, it does. It takes a lot of people to help.
Absolutely.
But you had the talent, and you explored it and pursued it. So that's great. We are all the better for it.
So why am I so nervous in front of a camera? I feel like I'd rather start Mile of Five.
Well, just think about that beautiful recording that you made with Eugene List on the piano with the Rhapsody in Blue.
Yeah.
With
That
the
was fun.
Cincinnati Pops.
That was a fun recording.
Yeah.
We really had a good time.
Yeah.
It was the original version, actually. Yeah.
But the notes that you got off of your tapes, it's amazing that you have those tapes 40 years later. That they hadn't disintegrated, but then you have these wonderful gold nuggets of Mr. Jacobs' exhortations to you. I wonder if you'd like to read some or all of them.
I'm happy to do whatever you'd like. I can read them all.
Well, let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As you said, I started studying with Mr. Jacobs in the fall of 1986, and I went to see him for the next almost two years. And unfortunately, there were just a handful of lessons compared to your experience with him, but they were just extremely helpful, extremely memorable, and I can't say enough about how meaningful it was to have had the opportunity to work with him.
Yes.
So I'm
Thank you.
happy to share some of these little nuggets with everyone.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, a few of the tapes were in very poor condition, but I was able to transcribe some of my notes from the tapes. And so I'll I'll just launch right into
Let's
this.
do it. Yeah.
This first page deals a lot with the breathing. Surprise, surprise. Okay, so here are pretty much quotes. These are his, verbatim, what he told me. Use as little effort as possible. Focus on quantitative breathing. Breathe to full capacity. For someone who's as short as I am and tiny, well, maybe not so much this way, but this way, that's really important.
Yeah.
Because at the height of my career, I was 5'2", so not very tall, and I had a lung capacity of about just slightly more than 2 liters. But I was in a brass section where some of the gentlemen around me had 6 and 7 liters.
Right.
So I had to play efficiently.
Right, right.
So get used to knowing what full lungs feel like. Air column should be thick to the lips. Use O or ah for thick air. Practice breathing away from the instrument. And that is really a crucial admonition.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
You can get so much done away from the horn.
Yeah, you develop those habits over here of breathing that you can then bring to the instrument, later once they're a little more automatic. Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. And he didn't. I might remember. He wanted to minimize as much getting in the way of the message as possible. And so if we're just thinking about how to breathe while we're supposed to be communicating,
exactly,
then we weren't communicating as well as possible.
Exactly. He had a very interesting way of sharing some of his concepts, I thought. Focus on getting air in the cup of the mouthpiece, not in the mouth. The diaphragm is the main vessel for lowering pressure in the body. Keep the flow rate high, the air pressure low, and that kept coming up a lot. As it turns out, there was a period of about 3.5 years where I had some experiences that made it a challenge to be able to do what I was called upon to do on a daily basis. Do you want me to get into that?
Yeah, just some physical
right.
issues, some medical issues.
Yes, I had some medical issues. The first issue that surfaced was I was diagnosed with Meniere's disease, and the thing about Meniere's disease is that you can lose your balance very quickly. Also, the other really important note about Meniere's disease is that if it isn't treated correctly, if the pressure to the head is not really slowly, the patient can go stone cold deaf, and it's irreversible. So I was fortunate enough with my second doctor to have found someone that treated this disease holistically. And there were times in rehearsals as well as concerts where I was having to play the instrument holding onto the chair with my left hand and using my right hand to play the instrument just so that I wouldn't fall over.
Yeah. So
that has a way of you start engaging your brain about how you're doing things in order to not make a fool of yourself or embarrass yourself and your colleagues.
And that was a big part of the context that drew you to Mr. Jacobs initially. Because you had already been experiencing Meniere's before those first lessons. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And then what happened, the Meniere's started before I saw Mr. Jacobs.
Yeah.
The second experience that was pretty major too, was that I had to have a complete hysterectomy, and we're talking about 40 years ago now, where medicine wasn't quite as advanced as it is now. So it was a major surgery, pretty large incision below, below the abdomen. So let's just say that playing trumpet was not very comfortable, and it could get quite painful. So that happened, and then the third situation was that our orchestra was doing a lot of recording. We were recording practically all of the John Williams, Star Wars, Star Trek, anything with the star on it.
Battlestar Galactica.
We were doing it all, and those weeks of recordings were like bloodbaths.
Yeah.
And I had heard about Mr. Jacobs. Obviously back in those days, no internet, but you would hear little bits and pieces about different folks in the industry.
Yeah.
And as it turned out, our principal trumpeter, Philip Collins, had gone up to take a lesson with Mr. Jacobs, and he came back with some glowing reports about his lesson. And I got to thinking, maybe I should think about going to see Mr. Jacobs, because for one thing, I felt with those three events happening like within a 3-year period of time, I found myself that I felt like I was like in repair mode, trying to recover first from Meniere's, then recover from the surgery, and then the hamburger after the Star Wars and Star Trek. And I'm thinking, I feel like I'm at the point where I'm probably working a little harder than I've ever had to work to do what I know I can do. So I thought, I think it might be time to contact him, And also the teacher in me, really, it was so pronounced. And I thought, this man obviously has so much to offer. This is what I'm hearing. So I think I want to be very proactive and go see him so that I can have information to share with my students as well. But also it was a preemptive strike, because I was in my 40s. And I didn't want to get to the point where I felt that it was that my career was going to be in danger, which we all knew back in the day that's what he was doing. He was saving a lot of people's careers, right?
He was, absolutely.
And not just brass players. A lot of wind players were going to see him.
Yeah, no,
and
for sure.
I didn't want to get there.
So that was the context, and did you still have any pain while playing when you saw him, like from the surgery?
No, not from the surgery.
Okay.
Not from the surgery, but realize that your body, it takes a while to recover from each of those episodes, and the pain from the surgery especially was a little more prolonged. With the Meniere's, what happened was the doctor took me out of trumpet playing. I had to leave the orchestra for about 4 months.
Okay.
And when he did give me the green light to go back to the orchestra, but it was with the proviso that I would enter on the lowest part possible. For the longest time, I was parked on third.
Okay.
It took that whole episode with the Meniere's took the better part of a year.
Yeah, right.
And then there was that brief period of time there between the end of Meniere's and the hysterectomy thing. So I was.
So it was kind of bing bang.
Yes, yeah. So,
and then the star
star
recordings was the bong.
Yeah. It's just like, for the first time in my life, I used my head and maybe I better do this,
So what did he? How did he encounter? What did he start with, or what were your encouragements?
Well, what he realized that I was doing right away was that I was using a a much lower flow rate and a much higher pressure rate. And when you think about it, if you're somehow your body has the test to find a way to do things, but you're also protecting your body from pain.
Yeah.
So I'd learned to do it, and I was able to do it, and I was still playing, standing up and playing, you know, all the Pops concerts, standing up playing jazz solos and everything, you know. But the work effort had started to increase.
Yeah.
And I was also having to go up into my head more to kind of ensure that everything was going to get out into that hall.
So these encouragements from this first set of lessons were really to get the work effort down and the results.
I would say that the keep the flow rate high, air pressure low was the significant point. That's how I was able. I feel like that's the way I played for most of my life, most of my career.
Yeah.
Because I grew up playing in inner city Tampa, playing Afro-Cuban music, you know?
Right.
And a lot of showbiz, kind of, where you don't think about it, you just do. And I think I think that was in my DNA anyway. But over the course of 3.5 years, you know.
Yeah, because you're having to deal with those three significant events.
Somehow like I said, the body finds a way.
You're making accommodations. Right. The mind is making accommodations to make it work, but in the end, the effort is too much.
Right.
Right.
So I had to get myself out of that cycle, and just his approach made. I guess that's why I was kind of pausing at the beginning of this, because you know, when I think about it, I still think I would have played, but I think what Mr. Jacobs did for me was that he extended my career.
Yes.
Because I was able to play. Well, I played my last notes when I was 71.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. In fact, after I retired from the orchestra, I was down playing in St. Louis.
Wow. For
a third of the year. For a couple of years there, I went on tour with them, played their Queenie Pops, you know, went to Carnegie Hall with them, recorded with them, you know. So I was still playing, and then when I got to Texas, I played with the Houston Grand Opera. Somehow I wound up with the third trumpet job there. So I was still playing, and that's thanks to Mr. Jacobs. Yeah, I still think I would have played, but I'm not sure that I would have played as successfully into my 70s.
Okay.
So anyway, so I digress, but not really, right? So breathe to it, and Jake used to say, breathe to expand, don't expand to breathe, you know. This has been quite an experience actually for me.
Going through the notes?
Circling back.
Wow.
Yeah. I've shed a few tears over. Oh, no, that's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Trust me.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm sure just to hear his voice.
I know. Just a deep voice. You know. The tongue is only for diction. The tongue cannot activate the air. It can only move the air or block the air.
Right.
Train the spine to be long, to be tall as possible, opening up the upper torso. Again, going back to chubby little Italian, you know. He was trying to get me to fill up here.
Respiration.
Yeah. And this one I love. Don't go by feel, but by how it sounds.
Yes.
He used to love to say that.
Yep.
It was just to take you out of, I mean, his approach was so positive.
Yes.
He was just, and I would walk out of there, you know, my feet didn't touch the ground until I got to the car, you know, and not even then probably. And when it sounds good, memorize how you sound, not how you feel.
Right.
And then he went on to say, you feel the most when it sounds the worst. And I had to really think about that.
Yes, right.
That, I mean,
You're, I'm sure, I mean, your mind, your brain is evaluating
yeah,
all
when it
this
sounds
stuff.
worse.
Yeah.
When it sounds worse,
Yeah.
you're like, it's true, it's so true.
It makes you feel bad.
Yeah, yeah. And this was his go-to. Use vibrato extensively as a therapeutic tool for pitch and dynamic averaging.
Yeah,
I can't tell you how many times I've used that.
yeah.
And I remember going in that first lesson, I mean, I was playing, to me, I thought I was playing musically, but boy, he wanted more vibrato. And it was because this was his way of getting me to get out of the head and just go for the song. He used to talk about, you've got great showbiz chops. Go to the showbiz. Go back to your roots. Go back to showbiz. You know? So I used to play Stardust, all these ballads and things, and all sorts of stuff on the mouthpiece, on the horn. And then practice fast passages slowly, slow passages fast, which I think I was already doing that. And then in his flow studies, the Jake flow studies, the flow study has to have a floating character. Be competitive in the beauty of your tone, in the beauty of your art. He loved to emphasize.
He was all about music, all about artistic expression.
He was so positive. I think I think that's the positivity for that first lesson. His way of teaching was different than anything I'd ever encountered, but it was about the positivity that it was just, it's kind of contagious.
Yeah. Well, and from a psychological standpoint, it helps when we are feeling good about what we're doing. It's going to help us be more successful.
Absolutely.
Rather than worrying all the time.
Yeah. How are we doing so far? Okay.
Great.
Still have time?
Oh, yeah.
Because I've got a few more pages here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, okay. Don't approach high notes on empty lungs. High notes must have fresh, usable air. He liked to stress that a lot. Don't approach the first notes as a trumpet player. Hear a human voice using O or ah.
Vowel. Good
The vowel shape. He loved the oh, his deep booming voice.
Yeah.
And also when he used to pick up his tuba mouthpiece, he would move all over his chops and get these great big sound. It bothers me to use the word buzz.
Play.
I know when I'm at master classes or with my students and everything, to me, a buzz is what a bee does. When you hear a violinist or a trumpet player or a singer or a piano, it's not buzz, it's pitch vibration. It's music,
right.
So I've kind of struggled with that.
Yeah.
When I'm working with others.
The trumpet professor who was a long time at UNT, North Texas, who passed away
just recently.
A few years ago. He in his interview, he talked about how he didn't like the word buzz. He started to use just play the mouthpiece. Yeah, rather than buzz the mouthpiece. Play the
Get the pitch and that's what
Yeah.
Did he study?
He did.
So that's the pitch and the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think indirectly, that's what Mr. Jacobs was saying, but he also used buzz.
He did.
But you notice when I talked about him with mouthpiece all over the face, he would get this huge sound all over, and even in the trumpet mouthpiece. Once he found his in the center, don't rob the lip of volume of air. Go by sound. You're a storyteller. He loved the storytelling.
Yeah.
Tell a story. Yeah. Study the low notes. Let them teach the upper notes.
Very important.
He used that a lot.
Yeah.
He was saying, okay, now play it in this octave. Okay, now it's that sound. The only thing that's different is it's the vibration that's different, but the sound is the same. habit has to form around repetition. It becomes a dictionary of sound. And that was the other thing. He emphasized that, the dictionary of sound.
Dictionary of sound. Wow.
Dictionary of sound.
That's so
Memorize
good.
the sound. Dictionary of sound.
Yeah, so then you're memorizing the various sounds that would fit in various styles
Mm-hmm.
in
Absolutely.
your dictionary.
Yes, that's why he knew that I had a strong like showbiz character to me. We would go back to those ballads and things, and then go, okay, so now just change the style and play the whatever I was playing, Copeland or Mahler or anything.
Yeah.
Pictures. He loved pictures.
He did.
Oh my God.
Promenade.
Oh, the promenade. If I played the promenade, I think I played the promenade more for him in the handful of lessons than I did for my own teachers, I swear. But yeah, that was big. And then there were just a few sections in the Arbin that were his go-to, and some things in the Charlier, which maybe we'll tap on later. And then I loved his analogy about the loaf of bread. I can just see him. It's just your tone is like a loaf of bread. You want to put all the best ingredients in that tone.
That's right.
And you slice it this way, and you slice it this way, and this thin, and this thick, and
right.
you remember?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
16th notes come from the same loaf of tone as the half notes do.
Exactly.
It should be the same sound.
That loaf of bread analogy.
Yeah.
I've used that one a lot in
That's a
my
good one.
teaching.
That's
a
a good
lot in
one.
my teaching. Yeah. Must take large volumes of air. Conscious of pitch in the mouthpiece. There we go again. I think that's how that whole thing about the buzz of pitch as opposed to buzz. Be conscious of the pitch in the mouthpiece. Lipping things up or down cuts down on the resonance of the horn. Find where the horn resonates properly. And I really think if you can hone in on that.
Yeah.
Especially when you're working with young players, if
Yeah.
you get them to hone in on that.
Yeah. Back to the vibrato, with the pitch. Yeah. That was part of when he would use the vibrato, it was also just to hone in on that sound.
Right, exactly.
Quality. That was a tool to get to the sound, something that we could do, that was aurally centered, sound centered, rather than trying to.
And then there was the memorization of the sound.
Yeah.
It's sort of like throwing a pebble into a lake, and you get that first ring,
Right.
do this, and then it leads to this and this and this. Before you know it,
Yeah.
you got this great big gigantic sphere of rings.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a great.
Remember, lungs come up high. There we go again.
Yeah.
It was with me, it was okay.
Yeah.
Work on, you talked about the lungs coming up above the rib cage.
Yeah, right
just
here.
little teeny tiny
Yep.
little, yeah. And for me, that was important because that was probably a fifth of, not a fifth, but look, my math's not good.
It was
Whatever.
significant.
Yeah, it's significant.
Yeah.
Yeah, in other words, I had to use the whole.
You had to use it
all the lungs. So he was on me about that. Come on, you're not breathing to capacity.
In her interview, Gail Williams talked about that as well. Because
Really?
her vital capacity was not dissimilar to what you described as your own.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like I'm in privileged company if Gail had that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, because I've always, I love her playing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you kidding? Yeah.
That lady is an awesome horn player.
Yeah, she's a great
great,
musician.
great musician, great lady. Yeah, I'm one of her biggest fans. Okay, work on descending lines starting in the upper register, and that was as a result of how we got to that, if I might.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
After the experience of all the weeks of the John Williams recordings, the Star War recordings, I was trying to I was trying to make something work.
Yeah.
Chops were feeling like ground beef, and so my way of putting ointment on the lips was to focus a lot on low register.
Yeah.
Warming up very carefully, just real easy, but lots of low stuff, lots of low playing. And apparently what I did, which is not unusual for me, I overdid it. And I was very likely spending a lot more time, I was spending a lot more time on the lower register than I was. I mean, I would still warm up. I would go all the way up in the range because I just wanted to make sure that I was ready when I had to go into a rehearsal or a concert or whatever, that I was going to be completely warmed up.
Sure.
But in so doing, the fact that I was focusing so much on the low register had a way of I was cheating, but I thought I was helping myself.
Right.
But I wound up cheating myself in the upper register.
So he encouraged you to
So
go up
right.
there.
He said, don't change, whatever routine you have. He said, but just start in the middle. Just start in the middle. And then just web.
Yeah. Just like a spider web expanding.
The spider web.
Yeah.
And he said, go ahead and start with the mouthpiece. Just play. He said, just play things. He had me play Mexican hat dance. Okay, so apparently other folks were having the same. Okay. Same prescriptions.
Judy Saxon, that's one of the examples that she used in her interview of playing with great style on the mouthpiece.
Yeah, play, just have fun. He had me play the piccolo part of the Stars and Stripes. I don't know if he had her do that too, but and he said, okay, now put the mouthpiece on the horn, because I walked into this lesson and I'm playing all these low notes, and he goes, this is how you warm up? I said, yes, sir. I said, how long do you? He said, what do we do? Wait a minute, it's called time. He says, I don't think you
I had a similar experience with him, and with the warm up, and then also there was a lesson where I came in, and I played for 30 seconds, and he said, "You've been spending a lot of time in the low register the last week, haven't you?" And I have been.
Right.
It's like, how did you know?
Shame on you.
What? You need to keep it balanced.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the balance. There it is. It's the balance. Yeah. Anyway, so that's how we came to. Let's start up. He had me practice things, starting in the upper range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But especially working on descending lines, starting in the upper register, because, when we start playing, just about everything we do is from bottom to top.
Yeah.
Bottom to top, is an ascending line, a chromatic, or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, nope, you start up on a high C. Practice all your scales down first. No. Now this is the one I think I admitted to you. Block the lips with finger and blow like a blow dart.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I was ever able to.
Like that?
Yes.
Yeah. I think what he's trying to do is express two ends of the spectrum, black and white, and then in the middle is the gray. But for you to understand, lots of pressure,
right,
and then flow.
Well, you see, I was trying to get away from the pressure.
Yeah.
And I think there was that little bit of hesitancy, not a deliberate hesitancy, but I'm just wondering if maybe that's why it didn't.
You couldn't go all the way down that,
You couldn't go down the rabbit hole,
Got it, yeah.
Yeah. Not because I intentionally, like I said, resisting him, because in fact, one of the things that I realized that whatever's left of the tapes, that I realize now, I was so excited about I tend to be an animated person already. I think you figured that out. I was so excited about studying with him.
Yeah.
It was like I was a kid in a candy factory.
Sure.
And I wish I would have just chilled a little more. And, you know, I wanted to please him too, you know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But also a lot of that had to do with the fact that I wasn't able to see him for a lot of lessons because he would reserve his time for people, professionals whose careers were in jeopardy.
Yeah, they were in trouble.
And you had to, when you scheduled a lesson with him, as you well know, you had to call the night before just to make sure that you were going to be seen by him. And there were plenty of times where I would call him on a Sunday night, because what I would do is I would schedule a lesson on our dark day on Monday, and I'd drive up 5 hours, you know, jump in the car, drive 5 hours, take the hour lesson, get back in the car and drive, sometimes in sleet and snow too.
Yeah.
And it was worth every ounce of energy, every dollar that I spent. Those lessons were like gold. So there were plenty of times when I couldn't get in to see him. So I felt like I wanted to make the most of the time.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, when I was a lot younger, there are a lot of things I realize now that I wish I had known when I was younger.
Right.
But yeah, I was just so happy to get to see him.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember telling him at one of the lessons I told the guys in the section that I was going to go get my Jake fixed, that I was able to get in for a lesson. It's time for a Jake fix, you know.
That's funny.
So, here's never spend time trying to undo something you do. Just simply develop a new habit to add to it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can't break an old habit. You can just start a new one. That's
Right.
better.
In the early part of practice, put yourself back in showbiz. Here we go. Breathe more often. Don't go to the bottom of your tank. You see, that was the other thing too. As a youngster, and you know the book, Clock Studies.
Yeah.
Where it admonishes you to play this whole three times
Oh
on
my
one
gosh.
breath.
Yes.
Okay, and you're only on 2 liters of air, and you're a little kid.
Yeah.
You know, here I am trying to
To maintain a good sound.
maintain a good sound.
Yeah.
It's a physical impossibility. Talk about physical impossibilities, you know. So I think that's where I had gotten into early. Okay, yeah, don't go to the bottom of your tank. Just take. You're going to have to take more breaths. You know. And then he talked about when we were working with the Inspirex, you know, air at the ball. He talked about imagine a fountain, and the tone is just a little ball sitting on top of the fountain, and you speed up the fountain, and the ball goes. You know, I thought that was great too.
Very buoyant.
Very buoyant, right? For octave slurs, you must hear the pitch ahead of the slur. Change the pitch in your brain just slightly before making the slur.
Yeah, that's great.
And then this one was one of his favorites, the 7th cranial nerve. You want to expound on that?
The 7th cranial nerve at the point of the embouchure is a motor nerve. It's not a motor nerve completely in its length, but at the point of the embouchure is a motor nerve, and so that's how we motor nerves are what we do to impart information, and express information.
Yeah, he would always talk about that 7th cranial nerve. Should always be a thick column of air, not a thin column of air. And later on in one of the other lessons, he said you don't play with a you have to play with a Mack truck.
Right, a Mack truck fuel line.
Fuel line, not a VW fuel line.
I heard that a few times myself.
there's a certain quality of tone that you should memorize. There you go with memorization. And then this one was obviously resonating with me. Playing too much by the effort rather than the product of music. That was when I was trying to protect the body.
Mm-hmm.
I had to figure out what it was I had to do to make myself, to hear myself in the hall.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you know, the hall is the extension of your bell.
Well, especially your hall at that point in time.
shoot,
It was
do
like
you know my
3,500 people, 4,000?
30, not 4,000. No, at
3,500?
that point, when I first started playing with the orchestra, it was about a 3,700 seat hall.
Yeah, huge.
And then in 1970, they renovated the hall and they backed it off to either 32 or 34. But it is deep,
Yeah.
it is wide, and it's really high.
Yeah, no, I went to a concert there. Randy Bowman.
Oh, right, right.
I went in to work with him one evening, and he got me a ticket, and I went upstairs, and it's huge.
Was that
Huge.
with
It was with Cobos.
yeah.
Yeah,
Lopez Cobos.
it was Death and Transfiguration is the piece that I remember, and I think they recorded it.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow.
I was seeing Mr. Jacobs pretty frequently from 86 to 88.
Maybe
we might have
we might
crossed
have
at
crossed
the door.
paths, yeah,
That's possible.
for sure. And here's another one that I really liked a lot too. There should always be two sounds, one in the head and one out the bell
That's right.
over the horn.
And the one out the bell should be a mirror image of the one in the head.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a twin.
It is.
There is no pattern of response without a stimuli. You must provide the stimuli in the brain.
You gotta think what you want to sound like.
Yeah. Train the blowing in rhythm, not just the tonguing in rhythm. And that one is where he used to talk about blowing, literally blowing 7/8 notes in a row, right?
Yeah.
And on the last eighth note,
Yeah.
Right.
Breathe in.
breathe in. Breathe in on the eighth. You must exhaust all air in the 7/8 notes. Exhaust all. That was the ticket.
And that
Is
was
to exhaust it all.
Was that to help the thinking motivate to get on that eighth count to get a full?
To get full.
Yeah.
Full.
I remember in one of my lessons, because I was a half breather. My early pedagogy before Jacobs I was taught to keep the shoulders down, keep the sternum down, keep this tight,
Oh. Yeah.
that sort of thing. And so I would breathe like that, and I never engaged.
No, you really expanded and didn't take in air.
Yeah,
That
and
was
so
that breathe to
yeah.
breathe to expand.
So one time he had me just hold my breath, or no, be empty for like 30, 35 seconds. And by the time I got to 30 or 35 seconds and I could breathe,
Yeah, I was like, oh,
that was like,
thank
oh,
God.
that's what a full breath is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so he taught me what a full breath was in that moment. And so it's I think that is that
Yeah,
similar to
I think
what
that's
the,
similar. That's what it was.
that exercise that you're talking
Right,
about?
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's maximizing.
Yeah.
Maximizing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he went on to say, don't interpret this as trumpet playing. That's
Right.
I don't think I've mentioned it since we've had the tape going, have we? About doing a lot of things away from the horn. Or was that on our?
It might have been pre-roll, yeah.
But
repetition is
repetition, yeah. Actually, repetition, yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's you can get so much done away from the horn. Save your chops. You can practice breathing. You can practice direction of air. The length of air lines, singing. Blowing through the lead pipe. Without the crook, and it's just to get the get the air going.
Right.
A lot of it can be done.
Yeah.
You can really go far without,
Yeah, for sure.
wearing your top down. Make sure all high range playing is with a melodic approach. Again, I think that was the result of my being a little guarded, trying to protect the body.
Yes.
At
Right.
first, yeah. Once I got to the point where, okay, so I'm not, okay, I can do this, I don't need to do what I've been doing to try to,
Right.
So, here we go. Use the vibrato as a therapeutic tool. That kept coming up a lot. When breathing, don't open wide at the lips. Massive air moves to a point of friction in the pharynx.
You want to keep it at the
You want
lips.
to keep it right.
Right.
Not because as soon as you do that, I mean,
Yeah. Right.
that's a no-no.
Yeah, and I think psychologically it makes it harder to get a full breath because
No, it's friction. It's friction.
yeah,
It's friction
yeah.
back here.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, once the tube is already open.
Yes.
There's nothing that you have to do to open it. It's
Right.
already there.
Right.
So that just introduces friction, and there's a contraction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Going by velocity of intake rather than how much. How much should be major. Then you add how fast you want it to go.
Okay.
All makes sense, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Rush of air, lots of air in the mouth. Imagine a cartoon bubble, with
Yeah.
a little character with a little bubble over his
Yep.
head. And so you just soak in that bubble.
Yep.
Yeah. You talked about vacuum cleaner too.
Yep.
Like the air is
Suction.
free.
Yeah.
It's cheap. It's free.
Yep.
Take lots and lots.
Lots.
Just keep breathing a lot.
Yep.
Keep roundness of tone. Keep excellence of your tone production, not the expediency. He loved the I don't know about you, but he loved the Arbon syncopated study.
Loved it. Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum,
Yep.
bum, bum, bum. Yeah, I played that in every key possible. Okay, so on that, he said use a little more air on the articulated notes than you use on the sustained notes, and make sure that the tongue is out of the way of the sustained notes.
Well, and I think it was in my second lesson with him, he introduced that and had me articulate the short notes and breath articulate the longer notes. And to who, like that. And the idea was let the who teach the two in terms of getting more air to the articulated, so there's more tone.
That's still his philosophy. One thing teaches something else.
Yes, exactly,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And he told me if I could get more people to do this, I'd have less customers. I'd have less.
I think I got that same
Did you?
message.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Stabilize the music. Don't stabilize the lips.
That's so important.
Mhm.
So important.
I thought this next one was. I mean, on some level I knew it, but I never really heard it. Didn't hear the words. All vibrating surfaces have three things: length, thickness, and tension.
Yeah.
I mean, I just did. I didn't think, maybe it's just as well. Always have to encourage the embouchure to vibrate, not to press the lips.
Yeah.
Basically encourage the embouchure to vibrate.
Right. That's where the sound comes
Yeah.
from.
Yeah. Air is the source of pitch vibration. No pitch vibration without the.
The fuel.
Yeah.
Air is the fuel. That's right.
Exactly.
I think he said the engine is the embouchure, the fuel is the air.
That's I think that's in there somewhere. When you play, you must tell a story. Here we go. The lips are the vocal cords. The breath is the fuel supply. So there we go. What you just said. Thick air again. Have to create the conditions for a wonderful tone. I like that way of expressing that too. Go into the brain and find the proper stimuli.
That dictionary of tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your brain is asking, oh, this one, I think I remember. Your brain is asking questions when it should be issuing orders.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's that whole motor nerve.
Yeah, and he would talk about never play with a question mark over your head. Right? That was one of his too.
That's right. Always an exclamation point.
Always good, yet never with a question mark over your head. Develop a dictionary of sound. Approach studies as beautiful music, not just studies.
Yep. That's
I
right.
like that a lot.
Every note has meaning.
Yeah, every
Doesn't
note
matter if it's
from
an
the warm-up.
etude or
Very first note in the mouthpiece
exactly.
or on the horn. It's music.
It's music.
There's no such thing as studies. It's music.
That's right.
Lots of showbiz playing. That's a recurring theme. That was my go-to.
Well, he knew that you were so good at that sort of thing that
Yeah.
he was I'm guessing that he was trying to put you in that mode to teach what maybe wasn't going as well in the lesson as he wanted or something like that, but let what you do so well.
Well, I think that probably, for me, it was the fact that I was really strong at that. I mean, and I got a lot of, I talk about show business, I got featured a lot because I could do it, but I used to look at it as almost like a negative. And because I'm in a symphony orchestra, and I think that, you know what I mean? I didn't want my colleagues to think that I was just,
Interesting.
okay,
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
jazz player,
Right.
But
right.
instead of a plus, and it was actually a plus, especially nowadays. You have, when you go and take an audition, all of a sudden you have to play West Side Story and all these other things too, So I think just part of me felt like maybe, Anyway, so
it was a negative. You were thinking it was a negative.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a positive.
It was.
It really was.
He viewed it as a positive. That's why he kept
he did.
encouraging you
He just-
to go there.
Yeah. Let's see, where am I? Lots of showbiz playing. Man, he really liked that. Yeah. Blowing harder is not the answer. Use a Mack truck airline. That's where blowing harder is not the answer. Use a Mack truck airline instead of a VW airline. He liked that one a lot too. And then the consonant H is an aspirate.
Consonant H. Yeah. Right.
It's an aspirate.
It helps the air get out.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah.
Get away. Get it out. Get the air out of the body.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Wow. This has been such a very unique. Marie was very concerned in a couple of our email communications about not having what am I going to say that you haven't heard already? This has been the most unique interview that we have ever had.
Really?
You've taken us through your series of lessons through these notes. What a gift!
Wow.
What a gift for me here.
Yeah.
What a gift for Palos. Certainly a gift for Kenton.
Yeah. We didn't acknowledge him.
We will.
This sweet little guy here.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Well,
But a gift for the future. And,
that's what's important to
yes.
me. Like I said, God has blessed me in my life. Circling back to where we started, there'd been no way as a little kid growing up here that if someone had said to me that I was going to make my living in a symphony orchestra, I probably would have laughed in their faces.
Absolutely, yeah. No,
And so
coming from where you grew up here, it was not the thing necessarily, symphony orchestra and certainly the styles of music that you were playing.
No, Afro-Cuban.
But that's what you brought too.
That's what,
you helped make the Cincinnati Symphony what it became, and certainly under Kunzel's leadership with all he did, I'm sure you played an extremely huge role in just the sound of the orchestra.
We did a lot. In fact, we had It's a little known fact, actually. I don't know if you knew this, but actually, the year that Phil Collins got the job as principal in Cincinnati was because I turned down the job as principal.
Wow.
That job had been offered to me, yes.
Why did you turn it down?
Well, because there were so many things that I was doing at the time. I was teaching. We had a jazz group inside the orchestra that we were playing all over. It was, in fact, we were recording a symphony jazz. We started as a quartet on the world tour. The Symphony Jazz Quartet, and it became the Symphony Jazz Quintet, and ultimately Jazz Ensemble. And in fact, we're talking about the fact that I'm going up to Interlaken this summer. We had, as this jazz group, we had an opportunity to, part of us from the jazz group had an opportunity to be featured with Dave Brubeck on our European tour.
Wow.
He wrote an oratorio, Light in the Wilderness.
Okay, I'm not familiar with it.
And we actually recorded it.
Wow.
Eric Kunzel conducting, and we took it to Europe.
Wow.
Max Rudolph did the classical concerts, and Eric did the Light in the Wilderness. And Frank Proto, who was our pianist in the jazz group, was in the bass section.
Yeah.
So
I've seen his name on the
right. Yeah, he's written a lot for the orchestra too.
Wow.
But so it was Dave Brubeck and Frank on bass, David Farrick on drums, and I took the place of the saxophone. So we were featured on the first half of the concerts on some of the standard tunes, and then the second half was all the oratorio. Wow! And where I mentioned Interlaken because I was thinking that we even performed it with the Interlaken Orchestra.
Okay.
Back in the tour was 1969. And we were on the Johnny Carson Tonight Show to preview our.
Fantastic.
We actually did the oratorio the night before we left for Europe. We were at Lincoln Center. We did it at Lincoln Center.
Wow.
So, yeah. So
Well, I honestly can't thank you enough for
Well,
sticking
it's
with
my
me
pleasure.
over the last
My
6 or 7
pleasure.
years as we got
No.
this together. And I mean, I'm with trumpet royalty, brass royalty here.
No.
So I'm so grateful.
Well,
And
thank you.
What a wonderful and very unique interview for me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and I
Well,
want to get a copy of those
You
notes.
made it very comfortable. I have to admit that I was a little nervous at the beginning.
Well,
I sound a little shaky, but
it's Puddles. Puddles usually calms people
Puddles,
down.
is
Yeah.
that? Oh, we'll blame it on
Puddles.
Puddles.
Blame it on
Yeah.
Puddles, yeah.
No, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Mike.
And Puddles always is very careful to remind me to bring a little something. So we would like to give you this Song and Wind
Oh, thank you.
mug. It's a large mug.
Wow, that's a real.
Yeah. So there you go.
Thank you.
Thank
Can
you
I
so
give you a
much.
hug?
Oh, please. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. It has been a pleasure to meet Kenton
Yes.
as well. And actually, my dog has been really good through this whole process.
Kenton loves.
Little Nico.
There you go, Kenton.
Can you get him to jump up in your lap?
Nico, come here.
Come on.
Big
This is
lover.
Niccolo Paganini Speziale. Yay! Oh, he's getting kisses.
Woohoo!
He's getting kisses.
Yeah.
Keep it all in the family.
All right.
Oh,
I'm
thank
not
you.
sure
Thank
where
you.
we are.
Thank you for making this easy.
You're welcome. And now back to you.